We're here at the VMware Public Sector Innovation Summit with Chris Sear, CTO at Sterling. Chris, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Let me start by asking, how do you see agencies and the American public as well benefiting from the government's adoption of a multi-cloud IT strategy?
So I think there's a couple of different facets of that. For the consumer, for the American citizen, there are going to be more services that are going to roll out that'll be directly affecting the citizens, whether it is the wait times, remote access, the speed at which the applications are being delivered to mobile devices, because now you have, with one cloud provider, you'd have tens of regions that has data to it. With a multi-cloud architecture, now you have hundreds of different endpoints to be able to send data out. So if you're in Arizona, where you would have a data center sitting, say, in Washington, D.C., the way it was before the cloud was implemented, you had a latency time between Arizona and Washington, D.C. Now you have a data center in Phoenix and more capabilities there to be able to roll out as those applications are created. So I think there's going to be an expansion and better integration within these systems because of that spread of compute, storage, network, and application resources.
Terrific. And then next, how do you see public sector agencies taking more innovative approaches to things like cybersecurity and data protection in 2022 using the cloud?
Sure. So there used to be, the whole, before cloud, it was, this is my application, this is my server, it sits in my data center. There was a lot of ownership of a lot of that, and because of that, applications weren't really ready to scale based upon threat and need. Cloud allows you to be able to do that. The other thing is automation. Cloud automation services makes it extremely easy to be able to scale something that normally would be sitting in one data center to be able to move it worldwide within minutes. So quite a bit there. The other thing is, government is also looking at industry and seeing what they're doing in corporate America to be able to protect their assets, be it financial, intellectual property, et cetera, that they're looking at those technological advancements to be able to roll into the government.
And then how do you see digital workforce enablement helping government agencies improve how they actually attract and retain skilled employees?
Sure. Well, that is, of course, that's a big issue, right? Everybody is talking about this. There's not enough people to be able to, hire. And a lot of reasons for that is, COVID enabled people to work from home. We developed, solutions to be able to provide that. In the government sector, it was very difficult because of the nature of the work, privacy, the encryption standards that were necessary, the systems that were involved on premises. And so as you can expand that, you can take somebody who is in Texas, and through the use of the advanced security technology and encryption and zero trust enablement, they can work for an agency in Washington, D.C. instead of having to live here. We've spent a lot of time building ecosystems where people, in a methodology and a mentality where people had to live where the work was supposed to be. And now we're able to say you can live in more rural areas. You can live in areas where the housing might be less expensive, and we can expand some of our hiring to be able to support that.
And then lastly, public sector agencies had to acquire a number of novel IT solutions and quickly to serve remote workers, as you were just alluding to. How are those efforts shaping longer-term IT acquisition strategies now that we've got some of this experience under our belt? Sure.
So I think the as a service, right, has become a very big buzzword, right? And edge, of course, has become a very big technology now, and it's because of that remote workforce. It's because of looking at things from a multi-cloud environment, integrating all of that together, and then being able to do all the data analytics. Agencies having to share data with one another. For instance, let's look at vaccines between Pfizer and the CDC. And you had researchers in universities that were probably doing that type of work as well. So a lot of that, the ability to be able to, if we look at the development of vaccines and the capability of being able to do that within months, and we look at some of our acquisition contracts that have been taking years, I think that we can take some of the innovations that we've done to be able to take things to market quicker. We can use that to enable a more agile acquisition program.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for being with us and sharing your insights at the VMware Public Sector Innovation Summit.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.